Okay, welcome Zellerman agents. Now we're going to talk about the final agency document in FMLS documents, which is RE500, the Independent Contractor Agreement. Many of you, in fact, almost all of you, have signed this Independent Contractor Agreement in addition to Zellerman's own personal one. This is the standard one that basically states you're an independent contractor. I am going to go over this here for you in case there's any questions. Again, this is form RE500. Now, as all of our contracts, you will notice the date is at front, all right? So we're going to put the date and the year, beginning of our contract. This contract is made by and between Zellerman and the licensee. So we're going to put Mr. Salesman. How about that? So you as an agent, we're going to refer to you as Mr. Salesman in here. It's between you and your brokerage. All right? This is saying the broker and licensee are duly licensed in the state of Georgia to provide real estate brokerage services, including not limitation to solicitation offices to purchase, sell, lease, exchange, and or manage real property. Also known as, we're going to refer to here on out as brokerage services. Obviously, your broker is already licensed, and you maybe have a license for a while, or you may be currently licensed by the GREC. You do have to have a license to practice real estate in Georgia, of course. They're saying, whereas it is deemed to be mutual advantage of broker and licensee to enter into this agreement, meaning all parties agree this is a beneficial relationship. Otherwise, why the heck would you enter into it, right? No one's being forced into it. Then it's saying therefore, in some consideration of $10, which is really null and void, but it's there just saying this is a real contract. Okay, the next section is the term of the contract. Generally, our contracts at Zellerman for independent contractor agreements last 1 year. So if we were doing this on July 14, 2014, I would run this through July 14, 2015 for you. It is renewable automatically if no party terminates. Although the terms and conditions may be modified at any time during the contract or upon renewal. Independent contractor relationship. I'm not going to read each one of these sections word for word. Do that on your own time. But I will summarize. This is saying that you are not under direct supervision or control of the broker. Now, while the broker is responsible, you are not an employee. The broker is not your employer. We can't tell you every day to be in the office from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We can't tell you when you can take off. We can advise you that it's a good idea to work in the office. We can advise you of times that are better to take off in the year to work with clients. But in the end of the day, you as an agent are creating your own business, and your broker, or brokerage, is providing the tools for you to grow your business. If you don't feel they are, you're with the wrong broker. They are providing the guidance in order to get your deals done, and hopefully providing resources to provide clients. At the end of the day, if you're not making money, the broker's not making money. So this continues to go into RESPA laws, RESPA compliance, our responsibility to you, your responsibility to us, the relationship between both parties, contract and compliance. You will follow the rules and regulations of the GREC. If not, the broker and brokerage has an obligation to report you. Because if we don't, then it's the broker's ass on the line, or the brokerage. So we will. But hopefully we can handle anything in office first and get it straightened out. Commissions. This goes into the commissions. For instance, we'll go into how we pay the commission, what time frame we pay you the commission. Because some of this is private information, and this is on YouTube, I'm not going to go into exact commission rates, etc. That Zellerman does pay its agents, our time frames, but that is what this is saying. If you provide a service to our client, and again, as the brokerage, it is our clients that belong to Zellerman. You were working with and for Zellerman. You have to provide satisfactory service. We at any time reserve the right not to pay a commission if there wasn't satisfactory service given to the client. especially when we're having to refund an amount to the client because of lack of service. It's a very rare event here, and hopefully it will always continue to be a rare event. But that is basically what this says. All right. Section 5.7 is saying that we agree to pay directly to you personally or as a business entity. What does that mean? It means if you decide at some point you want to incorporate yourself or form a partnership, that we would pay the partnership instead of paying yourself. The difference to us is in certain circumstances, if you're incorporated, you may not have to issue 1099s versus personal. We will issue a 1099 a year. What does that mean to you? Seek out the advice of your accountant. But what it does mean is that both ways you're still responsible for your own taxes. Any payments will be obviously recorded to the IRS, whether it's 1099 to you or not. Expenses, Section 6, this just goes into what expenses you're responsible for, what expenses the brokerage is responsible for as an independent contractor, advertising, marketing costs. Basically saying the brokerage is not committing to pay anything on your behalf or reimburse you for anything that's not stated in this contract and or another contract. And certain circumstances, as far as our community agents, we do pay for advertising and things like that. So again, it depends on your situation and what you're doing. And that would be in our personal agreement, not in the standard agreement. This goes in Section 7, goes into licensees' personal transactions. You have to notify your broker if you're selling a personal property, especially when it comes to escrow accounts. You have to sell, obviously, within GRC rules. You have to disclose that it's your personal property to potential buyers. And it's all about disclosing, basically. I mean, that's what this whole Section 7 really says, is that you have to disclose, you have to ask your broker's permission. Generally, personal properties are closed out at the same level commission rate as any other property. Sometimes exceptions are given depending on what you're doing. So see your broker. Listings. Section 8 goes to listing and records, and it's everyone's obligation to keep files. Before you're paid, your files must be complete. If they're not complete, you have to make them complete. GRAC ensures that our files are complete, and we only can do that if the agents keep complete files. If you have not kept all your files to turn in, that means you haven't done your job fully, and that means you will not get paid until the file is complete. If the file is never complete, you may never get paid. And we haven't had to have that happen yet, but I just want everyone to be clear that it is the agent's responsibility, sole responsibility, to ensure that they follow the guidelines of Zellerman to a T, in the sense that they have every single document they need for a purchase, closing, listing, or lease, and that you turn those in to your broker in a timely fashion. If you do not, you risk any potential income because we can't pay you on an incomplete file. Alright, Section 9 goes into claims. We are not liable as a brokerage for what you do all the time. We can't be. We don't know what you do all the time. What we are liable for is to ensure we train you the best of our ability, we provide you with the tools you need, and that you are informed as possible. If you constantly do not show up for training events, you do not read the materials, that's very hard for us to enforce that, and if we become aware of that situation, we'll probably end up letting you go because then you are a liability for the brokerage instead of an asset. Termination, Section 10. This gives us the right to terminate. What we were just talking about above. If you are not if you're not actively selling, if you're not attending meetings, if you're not, doing your due diligence and really putting an effort into it, there is a cost for us to keeping an agent on board, and there comes a point in time where the cost exceeds the benefit of having just a warm body, and that's not very long. So we have the right to terminate you for any cost. Any prospects you have belong to the firm. All clients belong to the firm. And any property that we have given you, including office keys, needs to be given to the firm immediately. Miscellaneous goes into the standard miscellaneous that we have in all these. You can read back in Form RE150 for an explanation of each of these. But basically it says that we're under Georgia law. This contract is written under Georgia law. Time is of the essence, and everyone agrees to cooperate. Special stipulations would be written in these two sections, if there were any. And then this agreement would be between your brokerage and us. That is an independent contractor agreement. The whole point of this is establishing an independent relationship in the sense that you are not an employee, you are not an employer. And everyone's clear on that. At the end of the year, you pay your own taxes, we pay our own taxes. And you have your own business that operates within Zellerman. Each of you are growing your business, and it's our job as a brokerage to help you grow that business. But at the same time, this is clearly saying we cannot legally, and we don't want to, babysit you. We can't dictate hours of operations for you. That's not the setup of an independent contractor relationship. And that's kind of the beauty of why most of you got involved in real estate in the first place, is that you want to be kind of your own boss in a sense. And that's okay. And it's our job to make sure that our clients are being served to the best of everyone's ability. And if everyone's doing that, we all succeed. That is Form RE500. Any questions? See your broker.